Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a 2019 model year launch. This is the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra Worldtimer, a 43mm Sedna red gold Worldtime all-around dress complication. So 43mm in diameter, 14.4mm thick from lug tip to lug tip. It is 50.5mm and it has a 21mm spacing between the lugs. We'll zoom out a little bit. Now we'll throw the watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. The watch wears quite well. It is not exceptionally thick, and in fact, the sloped profile of the bezel means it should slide underneath most cuffs. It is fairly broad across the wrist, though not overly so, and I believe it could be worn on a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference. Take a quick down the barrel look. You can see the lugs aren't quite overlapping the edge of my wrist at this size. The strap is high grade with a contrasting sort of rose gold stitch inside a deep navy blue alligator leather strap with large rectangular symmetrical scales, particularly expensive and impressive cut of leather. There is a folded edge, and then on the bottom, black calfskin. This is a brand new Omega factory strap, and it comes with a Omega factory clasp. Twin trigger release, so it will not open inadvertently. We have a combination of polished and satinated elements. There's even engine turning inside. You slide the strap into the buckle. It gets crimped and clenched, and then all of the excess length hides underneath the clasp and the straps. There's no need for minder loops. And if you're wondering what's minder loop, well, this is a minder loop. So it's a very clean looking watch once the strap is sized down. The case is familiar to Omega fans. Lyre style lugs. We've seen them on Seamasters and Speedmasters since the early 60s. Both a inward and an outward bevel, with the outward bevel being polished. Mid case is longitudinally satinated. The bezel has a short, narrow vertical segment that's somewhat inset from the case band, and then a much larger conical one. We have a screw down crown with a combination of media blasting and polishing. The watch is 150 meters water resistant. We have that Aqua Terra style teak deck concept look, as the dial surrounding the center features a striated set of profiles designed to imply the teak deck of a yacht. We also have a number of reference cities, and take note, Paris has been supplanted by Omega's home city of Bienne, Switzerland. We also have a combination of polish and satination on the micro-faceted applique hour indices, and the same treatment has been rendered on the hands themselves with a vintage-inspired broad arrow minute hand. The center dial is laser-ablated to create the image of the landmass and the seas. And then the way this works is you have a 24-hour reference ring. That is your world time function. The easiest way to demonstrate how the world time system works is to just set a time. Now here's how it works. You can see where I am. It is currently 6. And 6 o'clock here, corresponding to Los Angeles. Now at the same time, it is 6 a.m. in Los Angeles. You can see it is 6 p.m. in Dubai. You read the hour adjacent to the reference city, and then your minutes are taken at center. That's how the system works. So we have a combination of cities and 24 primary time zones. One semicircle is blue, that represents the areas where it is night, and one is silver, that represents, roughly speaking, the areas where it is the daytime. There is plenty of luminescence. We're going to see the luminescence right now. Bonus points for Omega looming all 3 hands, including the seconds. You can see that the detail of the laser-ablated landmass and seas is quite attractive. You can also see just how well detailed those individual indices are. Taking a quick look at the case back, because this is an upscale version of the Worldtimer, not the standard steel model. Here we get a solid gold rotor and a solid gold balance bridge. This is caliber 8939, a bidirectional automatic winding with twin barrels, 60-hour power reserve. 2 barrels make for more even torque release, so it doesn't have a big drop-off in amplitude after 18, 24, and 36 hours. It beats away at 25,200 vibrations per hour, which is the silicon hairspring specific rate for Swatch Group watches, not just Omega. And yes, it does have an anti-magnetic silicon hairspring, which is basically amagnetic, and then it's paired with an anti-magnetic escapement. We have a full balance bridge and a free-sprung balance for toughness against shock, and this is a master chronometer, which means, yes, it meets the COSC standards, but it's also tested as a fully assembled watch in 6 positions for chronometry, certainly, but also winding efficiency, power reserve, shock resistance, water resistance, and anti-magnetism. And it is anti-magnetic to over 15,000 Gauss, or 1.5 Tesla. That is an awful lot of anti-magnetism, to the point that it is basically amagnetic. And of course, the movement pivots on 38 joules. It's nicely decorated with a combination of blackened and polished screws, plus lovely spiral arabesque Côte de Genève across its many surfaces. And finally, it includes the latest version of Omega's coaxial escapement, as envisioned by master watchmaker George Daniels in the 70s and industrialized by Omega in the 90s. The coax is a direct and indirect impulse tangential contact escapement that probably remains the most sophisticated escapement you can buy for under $50,000. It improves power reserve, chronometric precision, and diminishes the need for service. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.